So, dear Dharma friends, so before Rinpoche was explaining in brief the Bardo's presentation of the Bardo all the way up till the Bardo of becoming. And when it comes to dying or to enter the Bardo of the death, it's the importance of the instruction of Phowa. Or the Phowa instructions becomes important for us. And if we ask what is actually meant by Phowa, Phowa it's actually the transference of consciousness, to transfer consciousness. Generally we can talk of 4 different kinds of states, like the wake state, the dream, deep sleep, and then the Bardo. So it is like here when we are entering the Bardo, the death actually, where this life enters, where this life comes to an end, where we start to practice the Phowa, where we apply the Phowa practice. And generally we can say we have a body which is comprised of karma, disturbing emotions, or based on the karma, disturbing emotions. We have this body and this mind in the body. And we talk, in the body we have pure and impure channels, nadis, and it's same also in the mind, we have pure and impure aspects. But in relation to the body, it is said that the purest nadi is the avaduti, or the central channel. So therefore it's also said if we practice and are able to hold our prana and mind at the navel, then it naturally brings forth the interdependence that we can recognize the nature of the mind, or where disturbing emotions can be transformed into primordial wisdom. So that's this specific, this unique feature of the avaduti, or the central channel. So if the mind, the consciousness comes there together, paired with the motivation of bodhicitta, then we can transfer it into a pure realm as a manifestation, as manifest free kayas. So this is the special feature of this central channel, the avaduti. It says also for people who haven't been very deeply habituated for practice in this life, if they manage to do this practice and bring together the mind and consciousness and prana at the time of death in the central channel, or to the central channel, it will be of great benefit. This is this unique feature and the power of the avaduti.
냠니 잡지 뭐하지? 양 참만 냠니 도다 차도는. 그리 차자 좀 줘봐 좀 보면 죽을 포하지. 대답지 뒤를 어제 오고 말이. 라고 하도 그랬더니 죽을 포하서. 그리 로그 포하도 깨는 본데 탐지 로그 포하잖아. 대량이 남편이 될 거라. 남자 파동을 라도 그랬더니 로그도 그냥 항상 깨는 지 탐지잖아. 로그 포하지. 다다 보면 재미 조금 보아서 조금 보아더니 라면 포트 받아 이거 좋지만 이렇게 그래 포를 되는 제 외부 특기 보아는 또 되는 사바의 인지 보고 특기 받는 이게 되는 그래서 먼저도 세는 가시고 보아자 조그리 조금 말해 하고 싶어요. 너는 보아잖아. 비만 용무죠. 대신에 화자배 촉부 요말이 가지는 법을 봐서 종료를 사족 생기 동나 화 용건 종료 포화가 니가 통분은 된 사족생 재미제로 생기 탐색 잡아 삼아다 이게 서라운을 되거든요. 화자 촉구요리 좀 니가 통구요리 이 사족생면은 그냥 화자는 수행한 통구요리 니가 요말이
So now we talk about Phowa, we have to bring it together with our practice, in the context of our practice. And we have different levels and categories of Phowa. It is for the individual with the highest capacity who practice according to Mahamudra and Dzogchen instructions. They liberate themselves based on the Phowa of Dharmakaya, like through their own power, based on the view, seal with the view. So in a sense, self-empowered, self-reliant. They don't need any other help. They liberate themselves with the Phowa of the Dharmakaya. And then the next level is the Phowa of the Sambhavakaya, which has an intimate relationship to our Idam practice, with our familiarization with the Idam practice, and to remember the Idam, to constantly bring the mind together with our Idam, and then in the Bardo to remember the quality of the Idam and to bring this forth. For this, we'll be able to liberate ourselves in the Bardo, in the pure realm of a Sambhogakaya. But then here, there's the Phowa which we talk about here is the Phowa, it's called the Phowa of limitless compassion, the Phowa of the Niyamanakaya. This is two categories. The Phowa which we conduct for ourselves, or the Phowa which possibly we conduct for somebody else. So, so the main thing about Phowa, that's in this third Phowa, the Phowa of limitless compassion, as it says in the name, is the quality which is compassion. Tukche means the great compassion. It's motivated by bodhicitta, and that's the main thing about this Phowa. Also the unique feature, the necessary part actually. Some people ask, well, is it allowed to do Phowa for somebody else or not? And the question actually, is it allowed or not, is not quite the right question. We have to ask the question, well, does it benefit or not if I do Phowa for somebody else? That's actually the important question. And if it would harm, then it would be definitely not okay. But the benefit comes from the motivation. That's why it's called the Niyamanakaya Phowa of limitless compassion. So if our mind is really endowed with a good motivation, driven through compassion and bodhicitta, then it will be definitely for the benefit of others. And also, we have to understand the Phowa in the context of cause and effect. So if the cause is there as a bodhicitta, if there's great bodhicitta, then the Phowa will be, the practice of the Phowa will lead to be liberated in a pure realm, in an infinite pure realm like Sukhavati, for example. If there is maybe not a great compassion there, great bodhicitta or a great authentic bodhicitta there, but if there is at least some compassion there, motivated by some small compassion, then it still will be very beneficial and it will lead to at least a higher rebirth in the higher realms. So we can say very much that pure realm, like for example Devachen, Sukhavati, is the actual manifestation of bodhicitta, the dynamic of bodhicitta. Or we could say also that love and loving kindness leads to a pure realm like Devachen. Whereas a cause like hatred, as we heard many times, will actually lead to a rebirth in lower realms, like in the hell realm, or miserliness and greed to a rebirth in Yidak, in the hungry ghost realm. So we have to understand the cause and the causal connection between cause and effect in this level of Phowa.
그렇게 담주 거쳐야 되니까 그 밖에 너지 방목 공부 요래. 대상 쪽으로 너지 방목 돌로된 쪽에 이제 너지 방목 공부 요래. 이 주로 기다는 나는 게 대상 가래 때 공부 쪽 요래. 대회는 다 보아돼. 더 자니 것도 야설이지. 나는 게 대상 가래 이쪽 대상 거스도 남주지. 때 말이고는 통상적 생기고 그래. 오 세기 당시에 페인 거지. 가래 비고 세기 당시에 페인 거나 다시 하는 레벨에 다시 하는 레벨에 나를 세기 당시에 드립트 받아는 페인 속고요. 대회 나들 세기 당시에 도는 포하고 뭐좀 그 받대도 좀 이라는 이담을 거 가래는 대본 그래서 이담을 거세가 셀 공부 동화도 나는 동동 과연 해 봤고 이 대답이 토가니라고 주고 남나 이 가본 가왔다고 짜고마서 공부를 야지 짜고마서 계속 속대요 많이 때려고 산에 마속대리 이 공부를 짜고마서 몸살들이 가자라는 것은 없으나 수족도 좀 몸살 특히 짜고마서는 서대로 대상 홍보 난 대상하고 로그 보건하지 진짜 중국 보건하지 하자 싸봐 이 장롱 오다 대박이 공부를 해야지.
So if we look at the Phowa transmissions, the different traditions of Phowa, generally we can summarize them in two different traditions. There's Phowas according to the long lineages of transmission, they're called Karma, which are mainly the new translation schools. And then we have also Phowa practices which belong to the Terma tradition, to the rediscovered treasures. For example, in the Karma, in the long transmission, we have, for example, also Phowa in the 6 yogas of Naropa. There it's mainly practice also based on the Nadi, Prana, and then the base of the practice is also here, Bodhicitta, also in the Phowa practice of the 6 yogas of Naropa. But here the unique Phowa of the Drikung, it is actually Terma, it's a rediscovered treasure. But in essence it's the same, meaning and practice of Phowa. We have actually three things. Here we visualize Amitabha above us. We ourselves are generated as a Yidam deity, as a meditative deity of primordial wisdom. And then the path in the center of our body is the central channel, the Avaduti. So there's many different traditions, as we heard, and there's also different traditions where you visualize yourself as different Yidams. Here, particularly because the Kagi and Drikung Kagi is a very strong connection to Vajravarai. So the self-generation here in this Phowa is that we generate ourselves as a JagTshugMa, Vajravarai. So, so these are these three actually features which Rinpoche was just talking about, as we said, Amitabha, and then JagTshugMa, the self-generation, and then Avaduti. But it doesn't have to be necessarily JagTshugMa, Vajravarai. If you have an affinity to another Yidam, which you have a very strong connection, it could also be this Yidam. It's of the same meaning. The essence is that it's motivated by bodhicitta. And in fact, that if we do Phowa, it has to be motivated by the thought, by the motivation, may I do Phowa for the benefit of all sentient beings? May I reach a pure realm? May I enter the pure realm for the benefit of all sentient beings? So that's the most important, this motivation, the driving force of the motivation behind. And then from this perspective, then we conduct the Phowa again. We transform ourselves as Yidam, JagTshugMa, or whatever Yidam is very close to you. Important thing is that we are a body of light as a Yidam, and the body is empty. That's important. It's completely translucent with light, and in the center of the body, very much like a pillar, we have this central channel, the Avaduti, or Tsauma in Tibetan. And the dimension of this central channel, it's explained, it's about as big as one's own ring finger. So one's own ring finger, that's more or less the dimension of this Avaduti. It is outside slightly blue, inside slightly red. It is translucent like rainbow light, completely clear, very subtle and completely erect.
Lama Lama So this is the quality of the central channel, and at the bottom it ends in the secret place, a bit under the navel, and it's like closed. So the central channel is closed, just like the bottom Ron showed of this prayer wheel, so it's not open. And above it ends at the Brahma Randa, so the opening at the crown, and there it's open, the central channel. And not only that, it's kind of like widened. It opens up like a mouth. And above then is Amitabha, which will be described later. And so Amitabha is on top of our head, which is the essence of all the Buddhas of the three times. So that's the appearing aspect of Amitabha, which is in essence nothing else than our own root teacher. Outwardly, on a relative level, it's appearing as Amitabha. In the inner level, it's in fact the essence of the mind, which appears as one's own root teacher, through which we have a very strong bond and link through deep faith, devotion, and also pure samayas or commitments. And the Lama, especially the root teacher, but basically all the Lamas, they comprise all the three jewels of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So every Lama, but particularly also the root Lama, is the embodiment, as we said, of all the Buddhas of the three times. He embodies actually the Sangha. The Sanghas which upholds the vows and the commitments, but particularly on the path of individual liberation, where we have the motivation to give up any harm for others. And then not only that, based on not harming any sentient beings, it's the bodhicitta, actually the mind to benefit others, based on an understanding of the law of cause and effect. So the outer physical appearance is the Lama, and then the speech is the precious Dharma. So all the teachings which we receive about bodhicitta, the law of cause and effect, which will lead on a relative level to the higher rebirth and ultimately to Buddhahood, and then all the instructions about the two truths, which we can say comprise the Buddha Dharma. And then the enlightened heart of the Buddha,
is nothing else than the two levels of bodhicitta, relative and ultimate bodhicitta. So in this essence we see that the essence of the Lama, which appears in the form of Amitabha, comprises all three, the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So the Sangha is his physical appearance, the Dharma is his enlightened speech, and the bodhicitta, the two levels of bodhicitta, is enlightened mind. So therefore we see that the Lama is the essence of all the Buddhas of the three times, and with deep faith and conviction we decide on this.
Drikung Phowa into Sukhavati, Stockholm, Lama so the Chinese family, they are changing Hana, Dublin so Tataran, they are changing Hana, Rock, Joe, three coming in, they are teaching Hana, those who are just in boy. They are teaching one of the Lord, Tata Jikim, relative, so Potom, they keep on 2% so by Lona. They are changing the Down, I don't want to consider bedroom, they are not so on it. They are teaching 100. The country down the bedroom, Magova, Bepata Sola Tavati, Yungulore, Terasova, she come Taka to get the young time, 50 ping to train, they are in Mono, the beginner. You see the thought everywhere. Oh, I shall not such a million dogs. Those landed in the one rate. Then Robin Nakiteranta, Ranganabashiva date, those landed were married. Those Rumba, they are teaching 100. Tell your family, son. They did it, that's the captain Rokona. The times I show you, all my captain Rokota. The needed to sit the water to that. You know, 30 gates of all your. You did JagTshugMa. JagTshugMa opportunity, JagTshugMa, Sanjay come down, Manga, that's a cover, Sanjay don't need it so much. They are changing something. Tomo money is guidance and things. She comes to a couple of Saturday by myself, but she comes to get to my told not over. The artist on a month that it gets to glory. The energy, the artist on a month that glory.
So then, in the context of this Phowa of the Niyamanakaya, it is practiced, or you could say conducted also with three kinds of perception. So the first is the perception of the path through which we conduct the Phowa, which is the avaduti, the central channel. And then we have the guest which travels through this path, which is our consciousness. And then we have the destination where we reach, which is the Sukhavati, the pure realm of Amitabha, so that's the destination. And Amitabha is like the place of refuge, so to say, of protection. So in this context, because this Phowa relates very strongly to Amitabha and his pure realm Sukhavati, it's important also that we familiarize ourselves with the quality of Devachan, of the pure realm of Amitabha. That we bring this to our minds, the qualities, and to remember these qualities and the benefit actually. And very much as it's described in the Devachan Mönlam, so in the aspiration or wishing prayer of Devachan, which I understand probably will be handed out, or maybe you already know that. So we understand, for example, in this worldly context, no matter how much wealth we have, or no matter how much abundance or goodness we have in this world, in this realm, this human realm, we have to work very hard for it. It comes together with a lot of diligence. We have to work very hard for it, and so that's our realm. Whereas in the Devachan, it's also called Sukhavati, which means great bliss, the pure realm of great bliss. Things are there completely without any effort, spontaneously, free of effort, and which we know in this human realm. And henceforth it's important to familiarize ourselves with this quality, to study the benefit and these qualities of this pure realm, to read this prayer again and again, to really bring our mind into this prayer until we get a feeling, actually, like a strong notion, a feeling of this quality of the pure realm of Devachen, that we actually have to feel, well, I want to go there. If I will pass away, if I die, that's the place where I want to go. And so here we have the place, right? That's one of these three perceptions. The place and the refuge, actually. The place is the pure realm of Devachen, and the refuge is the Buddha in this pure realm, which is Amitabha. So that's the place we want to go. Through which path we can go there? Well, the path is the pure nadi of the Avaduti, the central channel. And who is traveling there? It's our consciousness will travel there. So we bring this together so that we gain a real, an intimate, alive feeling actually about it. Very much like I want to travel to a destination in this world. I want to travel to a country, that we make ourselves ready, bring all the prerequisites, that we have no doubt actually. So we have to come to this certainty. So generally it's said that there is a countless pure realms, countless pure Buddha realms, but as Buddha Shakyamuni said, the pure realm of Devachen, of Amitabha, is a very unique feature in the sense that it has a very strong karmic connection to us, and that it's also considerably easy actually to reach there. It is said that for other pure realms we have to be abiding on sometimes up to the 8th level of a bodhisattva, which is very hard to reach actually, some other pure realms. But this pure realm is, so to say, open and accessible, easier, way easier accessible. So, if we look at even at the prayer, which describes the prayer of the pure realm of Devachan, and Rinpoche believes many have the book, or will hand out the book. Tomorrow we'll give the book. Then it's Sunny Chegra. Sunny Tape Chegra. And Rinpoche was also giving in the past, obviously, this prayer to many people, and many of you probably already have it. But no matter what, it opens, the opening verse, it starts with Emaho. And unlike many other wishing prayers who don't start with this Emaho, this is an exclamation of remark. And it was expounded by Buddha itself, actually. That among all the countless pure realms, the pure realm of Amitabha or Sukhavati is considered the supreme or the highest of all the pure realms. That's why Buddha started to describe and said, Emaho, that's how wonderful, how wondrous is this pure realm. And what makes it so wondrous, so amazing actually, is that we can reach into the pure realm of Devachan based simply on faith. Faith alone is enough. I mean, very strong faith to reach to Devachan. Whereas for other pure realms, as mentioned before, for some you need to have been abiding on the 8th level of a bodhisattva, which is extremely high level of realization. So through deep faith, we can reach the pure realm of Devachan. And that's why it says it's very easy to reach the pure realm of Amitabha, and it's of enormous benefit. And why is it so easy, and why is it of enormous benefit? It has to do with the previous accumulations of to become Buddha Amitabha. In many of his previous life, he was accumulating so much merit, and particularly formulated very strong wish and aspiration prayers, offering to all the Buddhas, and formulated the wish and in the recognition, when people die, not people, beings, when sentient beings die, most of them, they wander in the 6 realms, and most of them, they go down in the lower realms. They are reborn in the lower realms. And also, almost nobody can be born in one other pure realm. Like, may there be a pure realm which is easier accessible, where people through a deep leap of faith can reach. And so for this, actually, it opened, it created this pure realm of Devachan out of this motivation of Buddha Amitabha, the one who was then enlightened as Buddha Amitabha. And that's why it's also called, it's a new pure realm, the Devachan, like in a time dimension. In fact, in terms of the time dimension of Devachan, it's only 1 week old. It was only created 1 week ago, but we have to understand that each day of the pure realm of Devachan is like 1 kalpa in our counting, you know. So it's like basically 7 kalpas, 7 kalpas ago, as we would count it, Devachan appeared. But according to the calculation of Devachan time, if you would say it, is only 1 week old. So it's extremely new, actually, this pure realm. Henceforth also very accessible. Whereas, for example, if we look at time dimensions, for example, in the hell realm, it goes the opposite. Even a very short time is experienced for hell beings as extremely long. So here it's the opposite. So anyways, because it's so amazing, so remarkable, it opens also these prayers with Emaho.
그럼 내가 저서 아까 보신 가면 이제 막 산지가 밤에 공부하더라. 이 소정사대에서 이렇게 밤에 꼭 몸에 들어다가 밤에 꽃이 보는데 소 나가 잡아 자통는 게 나가야 말을 되잖아. 그래서 밤에 꽃이 보고 이제 통달에 나가 감 강한 친구들 보는 이제 거래서 저기 막어 잤다더니 뭐를 참 Titi was very little at the Sajiri, a barmy to a barmy to the Jason Corri, not chatted, so fit to what the barmy day or treated so what that. So around it all. Lord, to reach it over Sajiri barmy or then never said, so walk off on it. Never was very little, reach Jarry knows how you are barmy or and you are barmy, Jarry, and I talked about the head of a
So these are the causes for being reborn in Devachen, in this pure realm of Amitabha. And again, it's good to know the qualities and to recall again and again these qualities of the pure realm of Amitabha. And then for the form of Amitabha, so we have the body of Amitabha, who is as big, as limitless as the sky, all pervading, so that's so huge in its dimension, and in the form of a rainbow light. And then from it, like a sun rays, emerges a countless spheres or bindus, and in each of these bindu is another form of Amitabha, like the sun rays, which penetrates in all dimensions. It's on each head of each sentient being is one Amitabha.
신바적인 지혜들이 생기던 동네들 지혜들 대화라더니 마치고 왔다가 생기던 게 예능이와 함께 같은 대파 오나 매일같이 자기가 사발을 대화해요. 그래서 대파면은 조소들이 쌈弄着 대통령 보호잡되는 때 네가 총거리 맞아서 자기가 사발하더니甚至 함께 대화해요. 그때 가면 생기 함께 자기 첫 대화돼 사바다 민지나게 나다도 세나 pero todo 총총 되는데 대화 차원을 매일 직접 한 말이 대화 그런 게 이제 사실에 종들이 찾고 요리 너는 대화부터 신발 신 대화 그 맞고 봤다가 대화 요리 누가라더니 사실 대화자 하 원이 들이라는 데려야 돼 봐서 지나 대화대 지지에서는 들이라는 사지 세와지 똑다 라는 데가 똑비게 그래서 나디지 뭐를 봐차 나디지 십조로리 남이 대로 돌래 그 사지 똑똑 있으면 매봐 동당들이 대답을 찾게 요리 그리고 그것부터는 또다오다 사지가 마음에 걸을 줬다 내가 계속 하나한테 찾게 요리 그것도 보면 되니까
그래서 교섭이랑 복도인당 부분이 200이다가. So we said that Amitabha appears in this big form, like in a rainbow, and then we might have the question or doubt, well, how can he be active if he just abides in light, like in a rainbow, like in a sphere of rainbow? Well, we have to understand that the Dharmakaya of Buddha Amitabha is like the sky, very much a sky which pervades everything, and out of this sky manifests the play or the dance of the Sambhogakaya, which is nothing else than the 5 primordial wisdoms, which spreads in all direction through the 3 qualities of knowing quality as one, as a non-partial love, and as power. So the knowing quality knows all the suffering and all the different states of all sentient beings in all directions. So that's the knowing quality, which penetrates everything and reaches all sentient being. And then the love is very much like, as we know it in our human context, like the unconditional love a mother has for her only child. So a love which is without any discrimination, partiality. So that's the love which spreads through this light of Amitabha to all sentient beings. And then so which is nothing else than love and loving kindness, which is spreading everywhere to all countless sentient beings, to the minutest, smallest animals, for example. It's all pervading, all pervasive quality of this love. And then the third dimension is the power, or the potentiality, we could say, which is like we have first the knowing quality of the Buddha, which knows all the state of mind, all the suffering, then the love, and then the power actually. So the power lies in if our faith and trust and devotion meets the love of the Buddha, then through this, of Amitabha particularly here, then through this our grasping to a self can melt, or the grasping to the self will melt, and we will understand our true state of our mind, which is actually the non-dual absolute view. So that's the absolute level. And on a relative level, it's the appearance of Amitabha as we describe him in the form of Amitabha.
에베나들이 다다서 사지 거죠. 추가 나빠다로 사지 탑지 톱 이슬비가 차대요. 사지 세와지가 톱다 사지 찌가 톱다 이슬비 봐야 되나. 장조집이 쳐라. 차를 가면서 초기 찍봐서 내가 장조 치해요. 대답을 남카들이 남카들 남편에 가서 남카들 찍봐서 내가 이름에 봐지. 대답 사지 삼지 남친이 시대 사지 찍다 좀 타야 돼 봐지. 저랑 세고 내려보라 대답들이 세는 있으면은 우리 상지 이지 상성 제대 이 생각 나가 최고와 잡히고 줄것 대답 그런 것들은 자송제들이 시와다 초보 장애가 차이는 거예요. 잘 되는 대답이 저들도 돈이 이제 손대 주고 토끼 빨리 누가야 집 빨리 쫙 찍다 사지 아니면 진짜 대화 뜻뜻이 봐 대답을 주는데 대답 소속을 대화 그거 지는 이제라 대답이 남을 싸면 또 라는 대화 대성매는 대화를 보여요. 대리적으로 또 사진 탐지에 같은 생긴 것들을 맞춰 받아서 찍어요. 대리적으로 또 출입인지 또 되더니 이제는 생긴 탐지 상지에 오자 로버트를 나이 인진지 말과 대치고는 로버트 받아서 생긴 탐지 전에 상지에 그는 저런 대전이 다 붙여야 근데 내가 저런 차는 제 도다 편들이 잡히쳐도 좀 차오는 동남북이 됐다고 고와 차는 오 나한테 좀 잘성아 그러면 생각하는 사실이 됐다고 하고 이제 또 쓰는 분들이 나한테 좀 잘성들이 사실을 공학 토고요 때를 맞게더니 사람들 봐야 돼 들이 죽어달라고 죽어라서 공학을 봐야 돼 토고요를 너는 이거지 나도 남도 또 민주부터 추진이 또 됐었나 이는 조치다들 추진이 또 생긴서 이제 사계가 디고와 차를 대전이고 말이지.
So this is the form of Buddha Amitabha, but then again his dimension of the Dharmaka, his wisdom body, is all pervasive, very much like the sky, which means that in essence all enlightened heart or mind of all the Buddhas is one in essence, that it's free of any duality. It is very much like the ocean. If we take the big body of water of a whole ocean, it might spread through different continent countries, but the water is of the same essence. It's the same essence. Or also the sky pervades in all direction, but the sky is of one essence. We cannot divide the sky. So it's beyond all these extremes. So this is the quality of the non-dual primordial wisdom of all the Buddhas, which is the enlightened heart of all the Buddhas. Which is also true if we recognize the nature of our mind. The non-dual state of our mind, which is this non-dual primordial wisdom, that's very much this sky-like nature. That's the quality of the Dharmakaya. And then out of that, of the wisdom body of the Dharmakaya, it appears in manifest form, in countless form, as the Sambhogakaya, very much like a rainbow, which is through the union of the power of emptiness and compassion. It appears in manifold forms as peaceful and ruffled deities for the benefit of beings, with these three qualities which we described: the knowing quality of the Buddhas, this limitless love, and this quality of potentiality or power, we could say. So in this context of this practice, like three powers have to come together. There are different three powers. The first power is our own intention, which is actually our own faith and devotion, which is beyond any doubt. That's the first. And the second power is the love and the compassion of all the Buddhas, particularly in this context of Buddha Amitabha. And then the third power is the power of the Dharma Dhatu, which is nothing else than the fundamental premise that all sentient beings are in essence Buddhas. only temporary. They are stained by temporary adventitious stains. Like first, the true state of being is Buddhahood. It's like the Buddha nature. It's like water. Only then, if grasping comes into play and disturbing emotions out of water, it coagulates and it becomes a solid block of ice. But then again, if this ice comes together with the right, if it meets the right circumstance, we'll be free of grasping to self. This block of ice will melt. We will recognize the true nature of our mind, and eventually traverse the paths and the bhumis and reach Buddhahood and become manifest as the three kayas of Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Niyamanakaya.
고상적 semji에서 고상적 sem지는 이렇게 저기봐라 정상적으로 많이 봐 sem지 tamsi에 대화하는 계고 상태체 되는 거 다음에 가르치는 sem지 tamsi에 체들은 좀 많이 봐 고상적 sem지 저 소사를 장들은 사적 sem지 돌아가라 초사적도 맞아 초사시 받는 비설마 그와 가르치는 나는 세는 상태 처리를 그래는 좀 봤다가 상태를 이렇게 좀 봤다고 요래 추성수는 상태를 지는 너 봤다고 나한테 추성수 요래 누가 보면 상태도 다 보셔서 누가 이제는 대답이 상태를 좀한테 바로서 봐 톡들이 바로서 봐 톡들이 유명한 톡이 이거 차대 이라도 봐서 촉사가 타고 토소이라더만 차차와 주반부가 뜻하셔와 기와를 지세야라와 이렇게 다 조사는 뭐와 그냥일만 다 소화돼서 이렇게 유모가 독을 이거를 이렇게 다 단진이 인거는 뭐이 나서 이나 늘 차요에 그래 저 촉사를 장지 저 초사 상바다 지와라 파트바다 그것이 파트바다 누가 가해 누가 나지 나오 형한테 인지비를 오래지나 다지지 세춘도 대시고 초사를 장지바디 파지는 인비를 로지를 때리는 와서 왔으나 소소 다지 총도 상태 제단 피해야 다지 총도 기초화지 하거나 그 초사를 좀 많아봐요 그거를 장자를 봐서 다지 나디는 유모가 나디는 유모가 좀 하정도를 처리 촉사하시 받더니 상태 라면서 촉사하고 상태 제일 좋은 나다 삼마다 이제 충분히 맞도 위험하게 내가 마음을 체험해 봐줘야 놓지 삼바 체험해 봐 선지 타지 파마 만들고 직접해 하고 이제 체험해 봤더니 내 타지 동행이 좋아하다고 많은 절지 통한 선지상들 동행이 좋아하게 좋아 그리고 가 체험해 봤더니 선지상들 이제 로버를 좀 나딘다 가서는 이제 선지도 참 예지로가 하고는 이제 가 체험해 봐 다른 체험해 봤더니 다좀 사실 선지 이메와 그들이 뭔가 저한테는 거대 일이 차오고 체험해 봤지 그때
So, what is the friend? Our acquaintance or the friend on the path? It's bodhicitta. So that's the thought, the motivation. May not only me reach the state of the pure realm of Devachan, may all countless sentient beings enter this pure realm of Devachan. So that's the motivation of the bodhicitta. And the actual way of applying it is to accumulate a great wealth of merit and to purify obscurations. So the accumulation of merit is done through body, speech and mind, but mainly through our mind. It's motivated through love and loving kindness in our mind. And then it's brought into the context of the practice of the 6 paramitas. If the first paramita is motivated through love and loving kindness, it's like an authentic generosity, then ethical or moral conduct. The second paramita, it's like to give up, to refrain from any kind of harm. And then the third would be patience and so forth. So all the 6 paramitas are in fact nothing else than an antidote to the 6 disturbing emotions. In this context, we also have the practice of the 7-branch practice, this prayer where we do prostrations, we make offerings, confession, and a relative and ultimate enlightened mind to ask the Buddhas to remain, not to enter into nirvana, and in the end dedication, this 7-branch prayer. That's in fact geared in the same way as an antidote to the 6 disturbing emotions. So in this way, if we practice this loving kindness and compassion with all our body, speech and mind wholeheartedly in the context of the 6 paramitas, we accumulate a great wealth of merit. And then through this merit, what's happening through this merit, our obscurations are decreased. It's a direct antidote towards our obscurations. What are obscurations actually in essence? It's nothing else than holding to the self, grasping to the self, this notion of me, that's me. And the method is, loving kindness and the mind which is opening up and directing towards the benefit of all sentient beings. And through this, this grasping to a self is melting away, this ice is melting away through the activities of loving kindness and compassion with our body, speech and mind. So not only the disturbing emotion, but also on the root, the grasping is eradicated through this. So in the beginning, our loving kindness and compassion, it is small, and then we develop it more and more, till it becomes like a limitless, a very big quality for all countless sentient beings. Then it also becomes like what we know in the context of the 4 limitless meditations, where we have first loving kindness, where it becomes like huge. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. And the second, compassion. May all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. And then the third is limitless joy or rejoicing. To rejoice that we actually know that all sentient beings are in their essence, they have this Buddha nature. And if the temporary stains are eradicated, they will awaken to manifest the Buddhahood. And then the fourth is the equanimity, the limitless equanimity is to recognize that ultimately there is no difference between Buddhas and sentient beings. There's ultimately no difference between samsara and nirvana. So for this, we accumulate the great wealth of accumulation of merit and purify obscurations.
내가 같이 나 실제는 보아로도 거기를 라고 때 말이 나타나 봐 양주 산 여자들은 자기가 봐면 그래서 우리 남이 조금 좀 같이 나 셔는 남지지 내가 또 고소한 거 대해서 나가 하고 저는 니 하를 제대로 나서들 로시요 되게 다들 다 공식적으로 해줘 봐.
So this was a short excursion describing the qualities of Devachan and Amitabha, but now to go more back actually to the Phowa, a little bit to the Phowa practice. So we had the self-transformation of ourself as the Idam, but then mainly the visualization goes with the central channel, with the Avaduti, as we said, with the qualities which were described before. And then we practice with prana and visualization, so these have to come together. So we have the central channel in our body, this was described before, which I didn't go into details anymore. And then on the level of the heart, we have a 4-petal lotus, and on top of this lotus we have a red tigle, a red sphere or bindu, which represents our consciousness. And so now it's about time to practice Phowa. We're not talking about the death, we're talking right now to apply and to train and practice the Phowa. So then, together with the prana, we rise this tigle up, together with the sound, when there's Phowa introduced to the student, with the sound of hik. So we recite this ourselves when we practice it. And we do it actually the first time 7 times when we do it. So then this red tigle, which is our consciousness, this lotus in our heart, is rising higher, 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 till with the 7th hik, it touches actually Amitabha on top of our head. And in this tradition, Amitabha is actually in a special position. He's sitting in a sitting position, brackets just like Maitreya, if you know that. So that's the way Amitabha sits on top of your head. And his feet, actually, particularly his right big toe, is blocking the opening of your Brahmananda, of your the exit of your central channel, or the Avaduti, at your crown of the head. Now, this is in this tradition also because some people have, they might have some doubts whether practicing Phowa might shorten their life, or it might be dangerous or something. So this helps actually to have this visualization that the right big toe of Amitabha blocks the opening of the Avaduti. And so we do this 7 times, like the hik, till it goes up more and more from our heart, till it touches actually, it's like the point of exit, the crown of our head, where it touches the skin of the big toe, big right toe of Amitabha. And through this we gain very strong actually a conviction and faith that our consciousness is really there, and we really touch Amitabha through this. And then after we've done this, then again the tigle comes down. It comes down again for the central channel in your heart. So the first time we do it, we train it through 7 times. Then we can do it just with 3 times, that we only after 3 times hik. And then we can train also that we only do it once then in the end. With 1 hik, it goes all the way up from the heart till the opening to the crown. So this is very much the Phowa at the time of practice. We train it, we practice, we train ourselves in this Phowa, in this pathway of the central channel, that at the time of the death, that we really are, we have a conviction and certainty, and we remember how to do it, because we trained in this life very well, and the path is ready, so to say. Some people sometimes ask, or might have a misconception, well, I just do it then when I died. And that's not enough. So it's really about now to, in this life, that we train ourselves, that we become certain about this path, that we know where is the path, how to traverse the path, how to travel the path, and which path is this consciousness traveling, and to gain a certainty and conviction into that.
저 이제만 총총 따나 양아 파바를 또 거리나 딸 지금나 찍으면 내가 감기 쉽지 탐지 되어 이렇게 되니까 가지고 맞다는 이게 다 답변 엄마는 그래요. 세비 탐지 되어 이렇게 체인사 moi je pas qui vont là dans ça et puis je voulais et je te dis moi c'est on faut long de long ça pas dire là pour long comme et je casse ma que c'est clair là on est dans bon 신앙 대단한 너무 신앙 되고 조건들이 가오 공부하는 게 그만큼 답하다 가오 공부하는 게 뭐지 싸움하지 싸움하지 답는 건데 그 지구한테 사지가 빠지 요사 그 지구건 내가 진짜한 대박이 보고지 그다음에 농도서 로요를
So, and what is important too is our aspiration, wish prayers for Devachan. That no matter how much merit and virtue we accumulated for the past, be it just for some positive action, let's say some benefit we've done to others or kindness to others, they will bring all our merit together and dedicate it towards all sentient beings. May through this merit, through the power of this merit, may all sentient beings be reborn in the pure realm of Devachan, or just to recite Omani Peme Hung, or a few Omani Peme Hungs, that through this prayer we have a strong aspiration and a wish, may all sentient beings be reborn in the pure realm of Devachan. So it's important to have a very pure aspiration and a very strong formulation of wish prayers. So this is the short instructions. So Rinpoche will now conduct the lung, it's called, the transmission. And so it's good to know what our jobs are. He didn't say jobs, sorry, but what we are going to do. Rinpoche is actually going to exclaim the syllables hik, so we're not going to do that. Rinpoche is going to do that. What is our visualization? We're going to conduct it with visualization. Rinpoche is doing it. So we generate ourselves as a yidam. It's a very big form of the yidam. It's like a translucent light, expansive, and then most importantly in the center of our body as the yidam is this central channel, as it was described before, the JagTshugMa or Avaduti. We visualize it very clearly with then the consciousness in our heart, and above also the diameter and where it starts and especially where it ends, and on the opening of our Avaduti sits Amitabha, the way it was described, and also not only Amitabha, but the whole manifestation of the pure realm of Devachan. Sukhavati is there. And really have no, it's there. Amitabha is really right there on top of our head. And with a strong visualization, what Rinpoche will do now at the practice, we just visualize, and you have the strong conviction how this consciousness is rising, 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 till it touches the big toe, and then it comes down again, and you just follow Rinpoche. So we're not exclaiming the syllables hik.
Sukhavati写把罗巴说那就莫了的罗的绿的啥的罗就好了嘛，也没懂过的，伊拉是去过懂过就也老嘛我们能在一。这这玩意儿把人家老马可找着玩，没有上面去的话，人家那是过在嘛了。就说这些波罗啊，这把这那么这老把这老马过去，我很早过过去，就我这不差不多了，所以就能在这来这干。刚才咱把咱们这些讲我把这把钱我说话的都出去就是这路就不是能见到大的。多年上这我做这好多那个老马老的，东湾这都是你这咱们那边的山丘里面，所以也没地方。我是这老外说把我这到说的嘛，说把我这到房东嘛就在这个东方上的，我嘛现在在这里的。给这个到底咱就嘛，不到北嘛，那到底这就产业嘛，这就差不多的，建设嘛，这话都得这个。我这次去就是我找到这我是讲我要我就嘛，那一个反正那我这就把所有这那把那说，用这次把那把这我看到刚才这把下用光把一条那叫一条路大街。说明把罗是包给家在这个人家的嘛，是我们就到山上啊，他们包到别的包管弄了，他们就没话的，恐怖早嘛，生活了弄嘛哇，少哇，多嘛，亲戚知道的吧，他们就包上，人家操作嘛，他们上面是说话，你搞这个就把他对不对？别妈妈帮他妈就别随便随便出人看，那不就我这个嘛，我什么都我上。养起有啊，爬来给吧，这都是我们养的草。养种还是把它有个那种我让这给你找了嘛，这一把了，那把上这把呢，从东嘛跑出去吃起去个送到的嘛，现在这的嘛，那是过去的这了，家了上面有东西就会像这草有个那个草可吧。现在就把那嘛那个锅啊、老说啊，当时个黑这个大家了，就是去了那么这个，我听来这个我们南区的，什么大娃，这个南娃娃大娃，3节800个小时的，都从我我这把就那个说的说火就嘛这个就往火就把这个。但现在呢，特别就么的就要现在就要是你老参加外面了，上到了这种的到参加了说话的，从没那快点去了说话的，到底上了或者了说话的，他都准备落去了说话的，人家参加讲解了说话的，从没马进去了说话的，说的不说人家了说话的，也没在进去了说话。也对国家人啦说话的，在去年长大了说话的，各种之类能叫了说话的，各种之类生活了说话的，之类做人去家了说话的，各种经济了都了说话。而且咱们说要了说话的，这去年讲嘛了说话的，叫咱别没讲清了说话的，就别咱们做到了说话的，这些努力就清了说话的，这些根本就清了说。都去年到了中央的就是这个嘛，说话那个几点没就这样说话的，我今天都这样说话。你找小伙老知道说话的，就这让他大了说话那个，就吃的找到说话的，就怎么吃的都知道说话的，我就说话的，这就咋了嘛说话。咱俩不玩就往时间了，你俩不玩，还有这往时间了，他现在的吃不就嘛的地方，现在就往时间了。说这把那个做房不是好着的话的话，准备去看呢，我都要出去到你了，准备从这中国说的，人们说这个大车儿不大人用出国的，说那不嘛，那是你去这个，那他也懂得活着，那他也懂得活着，那他也懂得活。 嘛，这种把美国的，我把那把学的这样的，那把是把的嘛城市弄上，你这样七八年就送上，你这把美，那个就从就，人晓得的地方把美这地方进行啊，把那个城市都也是，这种我也是。
So that's the way how to practice it, and I guess tomorrow is also a practice session. But in the end, when we finish the practice, when the consciousness comes the last time down, we visualize also that Amitabha is dissolving into light and comes down our central channel to our heart, and we then transform into Buddha Amitayus, the Buddha of limitless light. And Amitabha that stays in our heart, so it's always there in our heart. And at a time when we die, it really brings us into the pure realm of Devachan.
Om Namo Bhagavate Aparamata Haridana Sundara Daya Tathagata Artya Samadaya Yada Om Pune Pune Ma Pune Aparamata Pune Aparamata Pune Jana Sabhava Bhavate Om Phowa Sangara Parayata Dhammada Gagana Samavate Sabha Bhajata Mahamaya Paravahare Om Namo Bhagavate Aparamata Sumane Chitate Dora Daya Tathagata Artya Samadaya Yada Om Pune Mahamaya Aparamata Pune Aparamata Pune Jana Sabhava Bhavate Om Phowa Sangara Parayata Dhammada Gagana Samavate Sabha Bhajata Mahamaya Paravahare Om Namo Bhagavate Aparamata Ayajana Sumane Chitate Dora Daya Tathagata Artya Samadaya Yada Om Pune Pune Mahamaya Aparamata Pune Aparamata Pune Jana Sabhava Bhavate Om Phowa Sangara 那怎么那个干了？上面我就说嘛，没觉得嘛了。我把这话来说话，阿妈了，对的说话，阿妈了，对的说话，阿妈了。对的说话，怎么都就是这样，哪怕没有这个怎么都这样，你这怎么？这比这这这这我说我怎么说这这样子我说我这种东西上这样哪怕没有这个这这么，这种东西上面我说这种东西这样子我说这个东西上这样哪怕没有这个这的，你这这样子这么，这个东西上面我说这个东西这样子我说这东西上这样哪怕没有这个这你这这样子这么。组织组织长来了，我就组织组织这样和说，上帝组织上帝也让他没有这个上帝组织，这叫这帮他上帝组织长来了，我说上帝组织这样和我小组织上帝也让他，没有这个小组织这样，这叫这帮他小组织长来了，我说小组织这样和我，就话这就是大这把面我就讲明了，我就讲嘛来了。这也说了我说嘛我到山间嘛往到野嘛也是说这些我用的什么的钱从来看见了这方面不见，这些好啥把这里把这的话题去稍微先看的。今天的真不就马到结我现在把马知道，也在今天南在上空说这个大家我大把的，说这三年三岁当姐姐，并没有我真接了的，也要他们三只要好玩不大难说。也是做我从节前不当，用这三把这前锋能来三节30把没过去。你听我咋把的没发现，给我先接着为先管的，当前对面这个这马台，给我先接把马接把。这个今天南在上头说，这个大家莫拉大发的，就是三节三节三节节，跟着这个真节了的。这要大本上这要好往我大把你说，马我走上的马往大也也是。前波堂，用个三把的前后能来三节30把没有结果，这天他三把的没把也给我先去做为先干的，但现在真不这么大，给我先叫把马去吧。这个今天咱在上头说，这个大家莫拉大把的，说这三节三节三节的，因为这个真节了的，这样他们三个要好好过大的年说，三者成就。 말을 착설서 사람들이 자기가 받는 것도 요요선 된대로 사서 잘 대마차가 되듯이 나 대화기지 계속 뭐
So this short prayer of the Devachan aspiration, which we recited in the end, starting with Emma Hong, Sangye, Namatai, and then in the end, it ends with this mantra, Deada, and so forth. It would be excellent if we could recite this 3 times a day. It would be wonderful if we can do this with a very deep aspiration. Also together we could do 3 prostrations. That would be most wonderful.
전들이 나 밤에 지나 장성을 yapıyor 이렇게당 밤에 지나 아미타바 세조진 이렇게 아미타바 좀 돌로 나한테 사실 그렇게 되고 사실 것을 되는 그렇게 찾아다 완거든요. 어디 꼬마게 그라 가도 와도 야 진지 좀 오시나 사실 바로에 대로 살고 어떻게 되더니 라고 혹시 저거요 마판 번쩍 잡고 마이판 번쩍 받아지 다다한테 사람 뽑아요나 진짜로 차원다 잘 고속도 타가다 같이요 쭉쭉 이제 참만 쭉거리 또 먹고서 꼰다 타가다 편지로에 그다음 삼는 방법이 어디 뒤져봐야 내 사마리 내 나리니
So thought it would be most auspicious also if we could recite the mantra, the name mantra of the Buddha Amitabha, which we'll give tomorrow. The empowerment also will be introduced into that. But in short, it's Om Amin Devari. So that's Amitabha in short. That's really representing enlightened form of Buddha Amitabha. And in all empowerments we are introduced into this tomorrow also when we are giving the empowerment in the enlightened form of Buddha Amitabha. Then we have a photo, like an image of Buddha Amitabha. We look at it, we close our eyes, we remember it, and we train this more and more afterwards with reciting this mantra. And this will create the auspicious link that in the Bardo, when we reach the Bardo, they will be able to liberate ourselves and to recognize our true nature in Buddha Amitabha, and to be able to liberate ourselves in the manner just like as a child is jumping into the lap of its mother. So we have to get used right now, we have to use that in this life and to get trained. So in order to do that, it's good to have a representation of Amitabha and to get habituated again and again, be it just a photo, a tanka or a statue, and don't think of them as some material representation. They are nothing else than the Nirmanakaya, an enlightened form of Amitabha.
Lama di Pachimburuna, Trinity, Malamori, or Lama di Tongi, the Yori, the interested Chagi Tongi, Lama di Pachimburuna. Three short commentary, which look all about the Mambo, or not checking out Lama di Musip, so on the Gavishini, the Paena, the Tata, Chokam, Geron, communicated on the Sagi about me, then you talk on the Kipana, you Lama the Gavishini, generated the Latam Generating, and Draman of Tongo, Donna, Theatre, the Bakuba, the Greek, told it up to Sagi about me to Mary. Get them to give out to the person. To talk out the Buddha needed to drop to the words. You are to put a Lama and give it to me. Then you want to Thomas or you something.
So, and particularly if we have strong faith and devotion towards the Lama, to train into that pure vision that the Lama, his body in fact is the essence of all the enlightened bodies of all the Buddhas, and to have a pure view and a notion in this. And there's many descriptions that if individuals when they die, that they have the notion that the Lama really appears. It really appears. Enlightened form of the Lama is the essence of all the Buddhas. So it's about the essence here, like the Lama's essence of Amitabha or Avalokiteshvara, his love, love and compassion coming together with our faith and devotion. So that's the representation of the Nirmanakaya, like the Lama or the spiritual friend. So then in the context again of Phowa, it's important to know the cause with which we can be transferred into the pure realm of Devachen or Sukhavati. Sukhavati, the pure realm of Amitabha, is nothing else than a manifest embodiment of compassion, of bodhicitta and loving kindness. It's in fact a manifestation of loving kindness and compassion. And if we want to go there, we need to create this circumstance in ourselves as the cause. Loving kindness and compassion needs to be brought forth in our mind. And for this, actually, we create the circumstance that we can be transferred, that will be transferred into the pure realm. Loving kindness and compassion and bodhicitta is like gold. Gold is actually in its quality never really changing. It's never really changing the worth on an ultimate level. It's this valuable pure gold. So also if we generate strong loving kindness and compassion, bodhicitta, mainly it's bodhicitta here, in our mind stream, this is called the unchanging Phowa. This is actually the cause for an unchanging Phowa, which will be not under influenced by other circumstances. And if we have strong bodhicitta, Rinpoche says, even without applying the outer Phowa, will be naturally drawn to this manifestation of bodhicitta, which is pure realm of Devachen. Or on the other hand, if we don't have loving kindness and bodhicitta in our mind, even if we conduct the Phowa, it's not easy to reach there. So we have to train ourselves in loving kindness and bodhicitta. Some people sometimes raise the question or some doubt to say, well, if I have a very deep love and affection towards a partner, spouse, my children, my parents, could it be of any harm or something, also at the time when they die? Well, actually, pure love in its true sense is never harmful. It's always beneficial, but it's important at this moment to immediately actually visualize and transform and recall Tara, for example, or Amitabha or Avalokiteshvara. We have to see them like Avalokiteshvara, Amitabha, they are like a great king, a great ruler who's empowered with a lot of power in the sense of bodhicitta. Our love to our loved ones has actually two sides. There's a good side, there is love there, but it's also stained by, quite often by some attachment, some grasping. And yes, this we have to be able to cut through the grasping. But love is of course not bad. It's good to have a very strong affection and love. But at this moment, for example, if somebody dies, like one of our parents or loved ones, it's important to immediately transform everything like in a pure form, like as Tara, Amitabha, Avalokiteshvara, and to remember their qualities and enlightened qualities of Amitabha, for example. And if that is present, there's never anything bad in there. It's complete pure manifestation of compassion and bodhicitta.
Om